to Creative Purpose with Pooh. I'm Pooh, and I just want to say please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. This is episode 3, and this is just going to give you a continuation of what episode 2 was about. So, I ended off by telling you guys that I was dating a Jamaican man, and I started having sex with the Jamaican man. Well, during all this time that my husband sees me messing with the Jamaican man, he is definitely upset. Now he's making sure that I'm listening to the conversations that he's having with other women. He's talking loud. He's making sure when I go to the kitchen that he's on the phone, like trying to see if he can get a response out of me. But I actually didn't care what he was doing or saying, because at this moment I had decided to choose me over that situation that we had. So he didn't know it at the time, but I was completely done with all his shenanigans. So now I'm messing with the Jamaican man. And, now we're getting like hot and heavy, because we're having a lot of sex. We're going out all the time. But guess what? It was a lot of things that I should have asked before I started having sex with him. And one of the things that I didn't never ask was how many people that he was having sex with. So now that we're getting hot and heavy, I'm asking him now, how many people are you sleeping with? And he tells me about this girl that he had before me, but he's just still saying that she knows that he's single, that he never gave her a commitment, that she has been like the side chick of all the relationships that he had before. So she really knows what it is. So at this point, I can't really say anything. I live with my husband, and he could have judged me for that. So I'm not trying to judge him. He's letting me know that, that space in his life is over, is what he claimed. So I heard what he said, but us being us, I went acting like a little detective. Yes, I did. I started acting like a detective, and I went looking in his room, and I found this box that had like letters and cards and stuff in it. And it was a couple of them, but the one that stood out to me was the one, it was like, we started dating on the 22nd, and it was for his birthday, like a couple of days before the 22nd. She wrote him a letter, and she's saying how she wanted to take him out for his birthday, and that even though she knows that they're not in a relationship, she loves all the things that they're doing with each other. And even though she knows that he doesn't feel as strongly as she do, that he's an important person in her life, and she's really glad that they're together. So now I'm just looking at the situation, because I'm like, this is a couple of days before you met me. It looks like y'all went out, because it sounds like she told him to be ready at 7 p.m. because she's going to make his birthday real special. So they went somewhere. So I'm figuring, okay, she took you out for your birthday, and you obviously sleep with her. But on the 22nd, you're already on Badu searching for somebody to replace her. And now that I'm thinking about it, that I'm telling you this story, I feel like that was a red flag for me. I should have definitely paid attention to all those things that was going on. But me being me, I was in a difficult relationship, and I just didn't want to be nobody that's nitpicking. Wow, I'm nitpicking. So I see some other letters. It's like Valentine's Day. She's writing little letters saying, Happy Valentine's Day. I love you, even though I know you will never say it back to me. And she's putting little hearts and squiggly lines. So you can see like she's forcing herself on him, and he must be standing strong and letting her know that he's not looking for a relationship. So yes, I brung it up to him that I found the letters and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what's going on with you and her? Because, I know I should have asked a couple of questions before we started sleeping with, but it's better late than never. I'm asking the questions right about now. So now, he's telling me about like her, that she's a very nice girl, but he can't see himself with her. He's looking for something different, and whatever he's looking for, she don't have. So that pacifies me for a little bit, and we continue to go out and have sex, and just this little love connection that we're having. So about a few months go by, and I still see that she's blowing his phone up. Like, I'm spending the night at the house. I'll get up, he'll go to the bathroom, and I'll see like notifications on his phone from her. And so when he come back from the bathroom, I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? Like, we've been together from January. I think now it's like maybe May or June. And you know, I'm at your house all the time. I'm not working, so I'm over here a lot. I feel like I'm sexually satisfying you, that you don't have no time for her because every day she's blowing you up. And so he's just like, she was there first. This is what he told me. She was there first, and I don't want to hurt her. So I said, you don't want to hurt her, but you're hurting me by staying with me, sleeping with me all the time, and you cutting her off, but you trying to tell me like you don't want to hurt her. So now, I'm not with it. Anybody that knows me, I'm not with it. So this is something that I did, and I'm not so proud of that I did. One time I got drunk, and I asked to come over, and he pays the Uber. I get over there, and we're sitting outside, and I just start going left on him because now I'm pissy drunk, and I don't care. I'm in my feelings. I don't like how you're sleeping with me. You're kissing me up. You're taking me everywhere. You're giving me the facade like we're in a relationship without saying that we're in a relationship, and I don't like it. So now I'm angry. So I guess he gets upset because I'm making a scene outside. Yes, I do make scenes, and so he has to take me upstairs just so people don't know what's going on. So now I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm yelling. I don't care who hear me. I'm yelling. I'm like, enough is enough. You telling me that you can't like fully cut her off. You're saying you can't stop talking to her because you're not sleeping with her. I'm assuming. To this day, I don't know. Maybe he could have had that stamina where he could have been sleeping with both of us all the time. But I'm trying to say I'm in his face a lot. And so if you sleeping with her, it can't be as much as you're sleeping with me. So I'm asking for an ultimatum. I'm like, okay, you're not going to do it for me. So he's like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I'm not dealing with this right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to hear it. I jump in his face. I said, you're not all that. The way you come off is like you all that. You don't have nothing. Like I am still continuing to talk to people. Yes, I am. I'm not sleeping with nobody else. But I'm continuing to talk to other people because I'm finding out in the morning that she's still texting you. And so for her to continue to text you, you have to be responsible to her because I'm a woman. I'm not going to keep blowing nobody up and they don't respond. So I'm figuring when I leave, you calling her and you texting her and you're playing that little game with her that you continue to play. I got very, very upset again. I'm like, I'm not with it. Like, you're lying to me. When we first met each other on Badoo, he was telling me that he wasn't looking for a relationship, but if a relationship happened, he wouldn't have no problem. He couldn't see himself with a woman dating with them a couple of months, like a year, and he not wifeying them. So, it's only a couple of months for me, but I'm in my feelings. I feel like, something is going on and my intuition is kicking in and I'm not with it. So now I'm yelling and screaming in his house. I don't care who hear me. I don't care if the neighbors hear me. I'm letting it be known that I'm not going to deal with your junk and you're not going to play with my feelings because that's not what you're going to do. So now he's just sitting there like, get out. And I'm like, make me get out, because now I'm in his face. I'm mushing him like, make me get out. Like, you that nigga. Sorry for saying that. You that person. Make me get out. So now he's like, you know what? You're acting like where you come from, because I come from Brownsville. He's like, you acting real Brownsville right now? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm acting Brownsville. I am who I am. Like I said, you're not going to play with me. Not when I'm doing all the stuff that I'm doing with you. So I'm not even going to lie to you. Even though I was in my feelings, because I saw that girl texting him and stuff, I continued to talk to other people. Like, I was on Badoo. I would have little friends that like me and we're talking. I haven't had sex with them or anything. But being that you're saying we're not a couple, I'm not cutting off all my people and you still doing kissy faces with her. So now I'm letting him know, like, you're not the only one neither, and you're not going to play me. So like I said, we're going to have to stop sleeping with each other or something, because the feelings and the connection is too strong for you to be playing with me, and I don't want to have to fight. So he's like, you got to get out. You got to get out. So I finally get upset. I think I even called one of my friends on the phone, and she's like down with me. She's a ride or die. So she's cursing him out, like, why are you playing with my friend? Like, stop playing with my friend. My friend is a real good friend. And I'm like, yeah, F him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not with it. Like, he don't know. I will break up everything in his room. So he's like, you know what? I'm not going to put my hands on you. The only good thing I could say is that he wouldn't, like, push me back. He wouldn't hit me back. He just sat on top of the dresser, and he's just sitting on the dresser like, you're not breaking up nothing. You're going to leave my house, and I'm never messing with you again. This is what he's telling me. I'm never messing with you again. Don't come to my house. Don't call me. So I said, I won't come to your house. F you. And I won't call you again. So now I storm out his house. I'm in the Uber going back home. I'm talking to my friend. I'm crying because I'm like, why do I keep attracting these men that don't know what they want? Like, they play games with people. Why don't they mess with people that's like them? Mess with a woman that just want to sleep around and got mad dudes, you got mad girls, and you won't never have this drama. But no, he's waiting for a good woman like me to play games with. So that had to be like a Saturday. I had wilded out on him. I don't know why, but I had to go downtown to go do something. I think I had to go downtown because being that I was sleeping with this guy, my husband wasn't giving me all the money for the rent, because at this point the landlord is taking me to court for the rent. So now I'm getting mad because he was supposed to give me a certain amount. He didn't. So now I'm about a month and a half backed up on the rent. So now my landlord is taking me to court. So now I had to go back to court. At that moment, I think he gave me some money and my cousin gave me some money, and I was able to pay up all the old stuff. Because to me, I felt like my husband wanted me to get evicted so I could come back to him, but I was not letting that happen. So I got money from him and I got money from my cousin, and I paid the back rent that I had owed. So now I'm coming back from there. Anyway, he texts me like, oh, where you at? You went to court today? So like a fool, I pick up the phone and I'm like, yeah, I went to court today. I'm downtown with my uncle because my uncle worked downtown, and I'm just chilling. So he was like, I'm not doing that and come to my house. So I'm like, you gonna pay my Uber? He like, yep, he sent an Uber for me. I get back in the Uber to go back to his house. I get to his house. He's, doing kisses on me. He never apologizes. Now that I'm thinking about it, he wasn't apologizing. He just was like kissing on me, touching on me, like apologizing sexually without even saying it. So one thing led to another, and now we back doing what we do. I'm laid up with him or whatever, and now he has to go back to work because he goes to the work in the afternoon to leave to go to work. So now, he's leaving to go to work, but now that I'm also thinking about it, he used to use sex as a weapon to me, because I used to tell him that I had a connection with him that I still cannot explain to this day. Like sexually, and when we sit with each other, and just mentally and emotionally, I felt very connected to him. Like he knew how to touch me and how to do certain things with me. And because he did that and had that little connection, I gave him like passes on the way that he treated me. Like I felt like as long as it wasn't what my husband did to me, it wasn't that bad. And I got to understand that people going to come with their little baggages and stuff like that. And another thing he used to say to me, like he really didn't have good things to say about women. Like he would tell me that his grandmother told him that all women want is money. So I had to explain to me, I don't know what anybody's telling you, but I'm not all about money. I have a good job. I had about 2 or 3 jobs at that time, because whenever my husband would try to play me like don't want to play, I would just pick up my other job and make money doing that. So I had about 1 or 2 jobs. I had my own car. In New York, you don't need a car, but I had a car because I wanted a car. So I had my own car, and I was doing everything for me. I didn't live with nobody. He lived with me, and the rent, the apartment and everything was in my name. And like I told you, I was paying majority of the bills, because like I said, my husband, I feel like after I left him and what he did to me, like bad things had started happening to him. He was losing his jobs after that. He wasn't getting nothing. It was like karma was eating him up for what he did to me while my mom was dying. And I'm just holding him down, not because I even cared about him, but because it was convenient for me. I had an indoor babysitter that could watch my kids while I go do what I want to do. And also, I didn't really have to explain nothing to my kids about our breakup, because he was still there. So to them, they didn't really get to see a difference in what we had. They just would see mommy and daddy is not sleeping in the same bed. But far as anything else, they would only see the arguments, but that was it. In their mind, like, I have my mom and my dad in the same house. And now that I'm thinking of that was truly unhealthy. But I'm gonna end this episode just with letting you guys know that you do not have to deal with people offering you part of them. If somebody really love you and somebody is all for you, You have to look at the bigger picture. Don't nobody that's so in love with somebody allow other people to text them. And don't encourage you, because he used to encourage me, like, you can still talk to people if you want to. They wouldn't be encouraging you to still talk to other guys knowing that that's not what they want. Because when other guys will mess with my phone or my husband will call, you would see his ugly face. But he would try to front. But I know it was a problem. So don't allow people to dictate to you your boundaries in a relationship. Set your boundaries from the beginning. Make sure these boundaries are known and understood so that before you start having sex, everything is laid out. How you feel, what you want, what you will accept, what you will not accept. Those things are laid out. What you're looking for. Are you looking to be serious? I know right now you didn't start out serious, but if we do fall in love, like, I'm looking for commitment. Those things need to be set in stone before you start any sexual relationship, because when you do it backwards and do the sex and then start asking those questions, you find yourself falling in love with somebody that had no intentions of wifeying you, falling in love with somebody that never wanted a relationship, gonna fight you on a relationship the whole way. And this is toxic. I just left a toxic relationship to get into another toxic relationship. And because he didn't cheat on me while my mom was dying, and he was saying that we weren't in a relationship, I felt it wasn't that. And I was big on perception and about what people thought about me. So at this moment, I really wasn't telling people that me and my husband was broken up. I really wasn't like discussing that I was sleeping with someone else. I just figured that I'm going through this and I'm going to keep it a little low key, for the time being. I was thinking about my kids' feelings about the situations. I can't say that it was different in my household, because it wasn't. Meaning different that my kids wouldn't notice, because they did notice. We would argue a little bit more because we were not together. They would see dad like storm out and say little things to me, and I would say little things to him. But the most of the part, I myself tried not to give him any attention, because I felt that there's no attention that needed to be given. And hopefully when you see this, you understand, like, when you're truly done with somebody, at no cost are you trying to revisit any feelings with them. At no cost are you trying to interact with them, or like hear their side of the story. Like, he would send me stuff and tell me that he's sorry. He would send me videos saying he's sorry and stuff, but I didn't care. Like I said, I was so hurt about the timing of him cheating on me. I was just not with it. And I don't know, maybe if he would have cheated on me while my mom wasn't dying, I probably would have took him back. But because it was that serious to me, and I just felt like I would never do that to you, I made it clear that that's not it. And with the Jamaican guy, I felt like he filled a void in my life, but I didn't like how he would play the games. Like, I really liked him. I really felt like, I expressed after the fact, which is, like I said, I hope that anybody that's watching this video know that they need to set boundaries in any relationships. Boundaries are very important. If a person don't know what you're looking for and what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, it can cause a lot of confusion, and feelings can get involved, where if you knew how a person felt from the beginning, you wouldn't even waste your time. I know I wouldn't. And the fact that I got to keep going back and forth over a few months about what is your intentions, and I feel like he lied a little bit too, because he told me that his intentions was never to be that. And so to lead up and we are like that, and you're taking her side as if you didn't want her, to me, it felt like it was unresolved issues and like I was in the middle. So I'm going to end it by saying that you can see I'm a little emotional, because I'm reliving these situations in my head, and I'm going to be talking loud. I'm going to be moving my hands because I feel away. These things were traumatic to me, and at no way am I trying to say that the Jamaican man was completely all wrong. My husband was completely wrong. Like, I didn't have no fault in these things. Me, myself, I had a fault in a lot of things, and I am mature enough to admit that now that I feel like I wasn't being clear, yes, I could see how people can misunderstand what I was doing as something else. So my next relationship, I'm definitely going to make sure that my intentions are set, my boundaries are set, and from the door they know what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not. And the moment somebody tell me that something isn't finished, or I happen to wake up or be on a date and see some girl texting him, I'm going to question that relationship. And I'm definitely going to ask them, how many people are you sleeping with? Especially, I don't like to sleep around with a whole bunch of people at one time. And I don't want to be putting my life at risk for people who do want to sleep around with a lot of people at one time. So I'm definitely about to end this episode number 3. Please remember to check in for episode number 4. It will be a continuation of number 3 with all the tips and the tricks and just my view, judging myself from my own point of better things that I could have did so the situation could have been less traumatic for me. So I want to end my episode by saying what I always say when I end my episodes. I say, make sure that you're walking in your creative purpose and never, ever, ever be afraid to love on yourself. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.